Right, we're already on to rule number 9 here. This is one of my favorites in actual fact, this particular rule, and I'll explain why. It's one which many private investors don't even ask. In other words, they haven't even got to the stage where they realize that they need to ask this question, which relates to how much money you should put into a trade, how much of your portfolio should be the maximum drawdown, etc., etc. Let me explain. Let's say we're looking at Standard Chartered, and again it's got a downtrend, and let's say we've decided that stock breaks through this downtrend when the price is at 885 pence, that we think it's going to continue higher, and we think it's going to reach 930 pence, which is a local resistance level there. And we also think our initial stop loss should be here, because if the price were to go back beneath that downtrend, then we'd know we were wrong in our analysis, that it was going to rise, therefore it's a good stop loss. Okay? All straightforward, and our reward is double risk. That overall is a money management rule, not a problem. But the issue then arises, how much money should we put into that particular trade? Well, very simple answer. If that loss and the price goes from 885 to 849, you should put in so much money into your trade at 885p that were the price to go to 849p, the total loss you have is no more than 2% of your entire trading capital. If you have £100,000 in trading capital, then that loss, were the price to go from your purchase price to your loss price, should mean no more than £2,000 loss. That's the rule. Now, there's actually formulas for this, and I can make it simpler, but I'm just giving this in very brief outline because we've got time limitations. That's a very, very important rule which professional traders know. Private investors simply don't. It makes you money, it saves you money. But there's more. What about your overall portfolio? Let me show you something. The reason why we have this 2% rule is because that way your overall portfolio doesn't fall too sharply. Or even an individual stock, you don't end up owning too sharply. And why? Because let's say you go down 25%. You need, with the remaining money that you have left, if you lose 25% of your portfolio or a stock, a 33% rise. That is a whopping gain in a portfolio in any 1 year. Yet it can be quite easy to lose 25% if you don't get your money rules correct, can't it? I mean, just ask anyone. It can happen very easily. But making it back with the money you've got left is very difficult. That's why we don't ever want to get down that far. We don't want to get down that far. This we may be willing to consider, and even then it's one heck of a steep drop. This ideally is the worst drawdown we want, because then we're only looking at an 11% rise just to break even. And if you can only lose a maximum of 2% of your portfolio on any one single trade, getting to 10% down is less likely than if you don't have any particular rule. Professionals focus on the downside. That's something private investors just don't realize. That one rule alone can help save and make a lot of money. Okay, what are the questions you need answered if you're looking at money management? Well, how much money do you need to trade full time, and so forth? How much money should you put into any one trade? Well, I gave the answer in brief outline just then. When should you increase position size? When should you reduce it if a trade is moving against you or with you? Those are the various issues. Now, what we're going to do in the next chapter is look at rule number 10.